Com o crescente interesse no coreano, surge a necessidade de cada vez mais professores que ensinem a língua. O Yeon-jung é professora de coreano nas universidades do Porto e Minho, embora não tivesse começado com esse objetivo.
So at the beginning, actually, I knew the professor of the menu, Korean teacher, and she said she has to quit the job, and she asked me if I can take over the job. Yeah, actually, it's not I really want to be a Korean teacher, but it's like it happens like that. Because there are not many Korean people here, and to teach Korean, you need to have some like linguistic knowledges, sort of stuff. So, and then I started to teach Korean, and it was very fun actually. I used to teach English before. In Korea, I was an English teacher. So it's kind of, it's overlapped. Many things are overlapped. I taught English to Korean people, and now I teach Korean to, other foreign language speakers. I have Portuguese, of course, my usual students are Portuguese, but I have Chinese students as well. Eighty, 90% of my students they totally from K-pop and K-movies, dramas. They are all totally. I don't watch K-dramas, but they tell me about. Did you watch this? No, I didn't. They always talk about. They really enjoy talk about K-pop and K-dramas. Now, even K-literature, they even read Korean books. I mean, it's translated one. They buy something from online or Spain or Germany. So I've seen a few of my students, they already know Korean literature as well. So actually, I was so surprised that, how do you know this? How do you know that? Sometimes they give me the news about Korea. So they are very interested. And of course, one of the big things is food. To me, it looks like trending around these young, like early 20 people. And a lot of students want to go to Korea to see what it is, and wants to do some exchange student, whatever. Korean language has a lot of similarities with Japanese. So structure, grammatically, we are quite the same. Japanese, Korean, but different from Chinese. But we also, Japan and Korean, under this Chinese culture, we were influenced by Chinese culture for long times. So we still, Japanese and Korean, we both use the Chinese characters, letters. So we have this kind of, I think it can be very difficult for foreign people because we have pure Korean and we have Chinese words. So actually, if you learn one thing, actually you have to learn two things. Everything is double. So recently I found one fun fact from internet. It was like, how many words in the dictionary for every culture, every language. And Spanish was like 100,000 or something. Portuguese was not there, but I think it must be similar. And English is like, I don't know, it was like 100,000 or less than 100,000, most languages. and Korean was on the top with more than 1 million. Yeah, so it was like I showed it to my students. So calm down, calm down. We have a lot of work. It's like we have formal languages and informal languages. You also Portuguese also has that formal informal, but in Korean it's like not that level. So it's not two. There are like seven different, and actually it's almost like a different languages. I think that's the most difficult part of Korean languages because Korea is Confucius, not now, but it was influenced by the Chinese Confucius. So it's like the level, the languages are we have different levels. So depending who you are speaking to, the language should be different from person to this one, that one, the younger one, older one, closer one. But the one thing that I feel, I mean, as a teacher, the difficult thing is Portuguese people, because you also have formal, informal work. So you have these two types. So, okay, I speak this informal Portuguese to these people, so I can speak this, I can apply this to Korean language too, but it's not like that. We have much more complicated relationship. Yeah, that's one big feature of Korean language with this formality, many levels of formality. But sometimes it's complicated because for example, he's much a higher position than me, but he's much younger than me. So it's like crash, position and the age. And then you have to decide or some other facts. I tell them, um, calma, calma, calma. Because it can be, because it's a totally new language. Yeah, there's nothing in common. Pronunciation is totally different, so it's very easy to feel frustrated. They're having fun because it's a very different alien language for them. Yeah, some students uh, say she says she's happy because it's so different. So she's not confused with anything else. For example, German, French, and then they confuse with words. But Korean, you have no words that get confused, right? But also because we have totally different structure and grammar. So you have to learn like a baby, everything new. So it takes a long time, and yeah. So I tell them, yeah, it will be a long process. So you don't have to feel frustrated. So just calma. And actually, I have to give them. You have to listen a lot, YouTube or read, or you have to expose yourself a lot to the language. But they're already doing it because they all watch Korean dramas. It looks like they watch only Korean dramas. So I don't need to nag them. Listen more, watch more, expose yourself more. For me, it's easier because I don't need to nag them. Listen more. Mm. But the only problem is that they don't really have chance to speak. That's the problem. They listen, but because we have the fact that you know things is different from you can speak, you know. So I think some of my students, they have quite good comprehension, they understand, but speaking is something else because of pronunciation, intonation. We have totally different intonations, but I think they need some chances to speak. That's the thing. They have, because it's all, the language is all about input and output. They should go together. So there are a lot of input, but no output. No, not enough output. That's actually the problem. But I'm pushing them. Yeah.